I understand that, like, fans and people on the outside of this building, they naturally have reactions, and they'll have comments, thoughts about the decisions that we make. The people on the outside, they have very limited information about the decisions that we make. And we have all the information which goes into that decision. Also, not just the information that's available, but also the work that we have to put into it. The people, let's say the fans or the media or anybody, I don't think that someone's watching hours and hours and hours and hours of film. You're going to have questions, you're going to have thoughts, but you might even have highlights. Or you might have seen them on television, which is almost a cardinal sin in scouting. You don't television scout because it's not the same thing. So a lot of people you see on television, you watch the film, it doesn't look anything close to it. So, but those are all the things that I don't expect anybody else that is not in our shoes to do it. But all that stuff that we do, all that information we have, all that work that we do goes into the decision. And so someone that doesn't do that work or has that information available to them, they don't know that. So they're going to comment and have an opinion on that decision. So you just got to have confidence in what you do. So,
well, son of a bitch. Woo! Brad just laid into us, but kindly, a kind reprimanding, telling us, guys, girls, everybody in the comment section, everybody on Twitter, everybody on YouTube, shut up. That was incredible. That was incredible. I feel so seen right now by Brad Holmes. Like, he's just like, would everybody just calm down and trust the process? Have I let you down yet? I mean, the man is not wrong. The man is not wrong. I mean, what else is there to say? Brad laid it all out there regarding every person who has a YouTube show, myself included, every person who has a Twitter account, every person who has any sort of social media who can comment on what the Lions have done over the last weekend. And listening to him just be like, I'm sick and tired of everybody commenting, saying what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, this guy's a reach, that guy, why not the edge, this and that. I mean, at the end, like, I watched that and I had to hit pause. And just think to myself, oh my God, I feel so seen. The man just called me out. He called every one of my fellow YouTubers out, any commenter or person who's throwing thoughts out there, just called us all out and was like, you're not watching tape. And you're not watching the amount of tape I'm watching. And even if you are, there's no way you are. You're just not. So deal with it. And I sat there and I was like, dang, like that one hit. And it's funny because I think I'll speak for myself. I can get so lost in the weeds of what I think I know. And at the end of the day, I'm not in these draft rooms. I'm not hanging out with Brad throwing down a beer, discussing everything that's going on. I mean, the intelligence of these scouts of Brad, of Dan, of all that they're trying to build here. And I do appreciate after the first day of the draft, I believe it was the first day, Brad Holmes talking about, everybody, myself included, why not an edge? Why not an edge? Why not an edge? And he's like, you're so obsessed with paraphrasing, but you're so obsessed with the position title, and it's because of the injuries, right? Last year, it's probably because of the injuries, because, we were set and you want depth. And he's like, it's less about the position and more about the player themselves. So, man, like, this just got me thinking. Being like, trusting that process. Yeah, like, we ended up getting a defensive tackle. We ended up getting an edge. We ended up getting a wide receiver. We ended up getting a guard. We ended up getting a safety. We ended up getting guys from all the position groups that I hoped for, albeit not in the order that I wanted. But it doesn't matter what I want. Do I trust Brad Holmes? Do you trust Brad Holmes? Do we trust? And I know I've gotten an onslaught of texts from people basically being like, we reached, the position value was broken, this was bad, that was bad. maybe we're just trying to look smarter than we are. And in the end, man, this is where when people do like draft grades, we don't know anything until September rolls around. Not even really after like the first season where you're like, all right, this guy ended up Brian Branch. Because I think I saw our 2022-2023 draft class was rated a B, maybe a B minus by most, or it was rated 25th out of 32 of the teams in the NFL. At the end, it was like the Lions did terrible. That was the year we got Brian Branch. That was the year that we got, like, that draft class, when you go back and look at it, you're like, that was Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Brian Branch, if I'm not mistaken. And we got rated a B, or 25 out of 35th in the NFL. And then they end up all being studs. So it's like, now granted, we had a lot of picks I saw in the top 100, but that's kind of what the Bears did this year. Long and the short of it is, Brad Holmes knows best, period. You and I, we're just fans. We're watching these games, we're watching some highlights, watching, whatever we can get our hands on, but we're not studying hours and hours worth of film. We're just fanalists. I'm pretty sure I heard my boy Derek say that once, called us fanalists. And I was like, yeah, that pretty much nails it. We love this team. We're passionate about it. And at the end of the day, Brad Holmes is sitting there spending all of his time. His job is gathering all that we can gather for this moment, for the draft. And yeah, I wanted other guys. I wanted other things to happen. But come September, I might be whistling another tune and heralding once. Like, it's funny how we can waver in our trust of somebody who has proven themselves over all these years. So I think all in all, Brad calling out the entire Lions community, being like, just trust the process, is it's hilarious. And I feel seen. I'm sure you feel seen. And that was a good one. That was a good one. Him spending 2 minutes just berating us, gently, kindly reprimanding, more like a father to his son. Interesting. Is Brad Holmes all of our fathers? He's Detroit's father at the moment. Well, anyways, hey, dude, long story short, Brad, thank you for putting us all in our place. I think we needed that. I think we needed the light discipline. It does say in the Bible that you got to discipline your son, discipline your daughter, discipline your children in order to show them that you love them. And hey, Brad did that to us. He showed us that he loved us by telling us, hush, little puppy, don't say a word. Mama's going to buy you. Well, anyways, thanks, Brad. Needed that.